Sure. My name is Virgilia Kaur Singh, and I'm 23 years old.
And what are you doing right now? What are you working on?
I'm one of the founders of GenJuice. Okay, yeah. So GenJuice is essentially we provide content, events, and products to help the influencers of tomorrow basically showcase what they really think about the future. And we help brands and institutions connect with this audience.
And what form does that take, like online and offline?
Yeah, it takes place through both mediums. It's important to obviously have a presence online because it's easy to connect virtually. In fact, my entire team works virtually, and so that's our online presence. We have around 60 people currently contributing to our online outlet, and also takes place offline through our various meetups and jam sessions and events.
Great. And what is kind of the end goal? What do you see as the end goal of this whole project?
The end goal is to essentially revolutionize this whole idea of the MTV generation, right? We want to showcase that people under 30 are emerging throughout their fields and they're truly innovating in their industries, either if they're going out and doing their own startups or if they're innovating within their industries. And we want to bring light to this. People focus on the ones who've achieved great things already, and that's wonderful. But what about the emerging influencers, the people who are right now hustling, and they just need that support, that community, the resources to get there, and that's what we're about.
Cool. And how did you get involved in GenJuice?
So it was actually a funny story. I was working as a consultant after business school. I was consulting for a couple of government institutions, and I wasn't seeing all the work that I was being done implemented, and it was very frustrating. So I literally had $200 in my bank account. I bought a ticket for, I think, $180, flew to the Bay Area because I figured that, hey, I have an idea for a particular project. Why not go find a co-founder in the Bay Area, right? So I attended an event. I actually did end up meeting my now co-founder there. And she was working on her thesis, and through her thesis that was called GenJuice. And they were having these meetups for young entrepreneurs. We got to talking and just kind of started combining our ideas. Another friend of Ariel, my co-founder, came on board, Danielle, and three of us, Danielle and I quit our jobs in May, and we were able to get $10,000 of sponsorships within a few weeks somehow from companies ranging from Intel to startups, and we went on tour, and we evangelized for this innovative movement within our generation. So after the tour, we brought on our final partner, Gleb, and we've been doing it ever since. I think it just basically steers from the fact that we were all feeling this way, that we need to be able to showcase what great things are going on, and that difference. And we did that through this tour.
I know you talked about your frustration as a consultant. Was there a moment that kind of inspired you, or was it more of just a gradual thing that you wanted to do?
It was a gradual thing, but I graduated from college when I was 19, and I literally, I wanted to do everything, and I still want to do everything, but I always knew that I wanted to do something on my own, at least on the side, whether I was working full-time or not. And when I was working for this particular consulting firm, it was gradual events, but I think the time that struck me the most was when I was having 104 fever at home, and my boss was still calling me to find out where I was and why I wasn't at work and why I wasn't on the computer if I wasn't at work. And I was like, you know what? You're not paying me much anyway. I don't even care anymore. I have GenJuice, and that's it. I'm done. That was literally the last straw.
I like it. It's a good way to end.
And it was funny, actually. The day I quit my job, I got promoted, and I actually I know it's a little bit statistical, but in a sense, these larger institutions, many times, they don't respect innovative, fresh ideas, and when people do come up with these fresh ideas, they take it away from you. So you have absolutely no incentive to stay longer besides the brand name of the larger company, you know? So,
Yeah.
I mean, do what makes you happy.
Yeah. What are some ways in your work that you've kind of had to work across traditional boundaries or kind of broken traditional stereotypes?
Sure. So just through GenJuice or before that?
Either one.
Okay. Well, I mean, my family was homeless when we moved back to America, and the one thing that my family always said was that you need to get a good education for you to be successful and to have a better life from us, right? So that's exactly what myself and my brothers did, and we just, we studied our as much as we could, and breaking the boundary that coming from a very low income family, coming from a minority family, and then being a younger woman on top of that, it was very difficult. Many times your confidence seems to be broken because people around you don't believe in you. And you have to just honestly be able to develop this no fear tagline for yourself and understand that, through faith and through support, you can do that. And honestly, through GenJuice, that's what we're trying to do. We want to make a community. We want to build this community for people who are just emerging, who are hustling, who need that support, who need the resources to succeed, and just need somebody to help them along with that process or to support them with that, I mean, I broke out of it, and I know that there's a great opportunity for many others to do so as well.
Great. What are some of the challenges you see facing young people in our generation today?
That's a very interesting question. Challenges facing young people right now. Honestly, messaging. When people think about our generation, they're so easily they very easily categorize us as the quote unquote lazy, quote unquote Gen Y, just this generation that just does whatever the hell they want to do, and they don't really care about anybody else, right? And I'm sorry, but that's far from what we are. Obviously, there's going to be some outliers, but that's far from what we are. So truly get out there and brand yourself. Brand yourself in the way that you want to. That's the beauty of online right now. That's the beauty of offline. You can take your online world offline. So truly be able to message what you have to say in a concise and clear manner. Make sure that if you are on the social networks that you are aware of who else is looking and who else is watching you. Because the challenge of our generation is going to be what you put online can be easily taken offline, or that it can be easily, misconstrued. So if you have something to say it, but make sure that's how you want to be represented.
And following up on that, what advice do you have for a young person who wants to get more involved in their communities or youth mobilization or whatever? What would you tell them?
Go and do it. Go and start volunteering. Number one, go volunteer. Number two, find groups that you get excited about their mission. I was having a chat actually with a friend of mine yesterday who wants to start her own nonprofit, and it sounded very similar to another one I had heard of. So I said, you know what, why don't you just go and talk to those people right now? You might not ever know what kind of a great collaboration opportunities there are. It's just as simple as signing up on a piece of paper and saying you're going to go volunteer one day. You never know the people that you're going to meet after that, and that's just the start of getting involved, I started volunteering when I was 14 and founded my first nonprofit when I was 17. The only way I was able to do that was just because of the people that I had met at an earlier age.